Hi there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now for card of the week this week for Final Fantasy TCG, we actually have another exclusive Opus VIII spoiler for you guys. And before we actually reveal it, I do want to quickly explain why I have two of them. Now, there was a poll that was released on Facebook a little while ago asking everyone who they think should get a community spoiler for Final Fantasy TCG Opus VIII. And I got a overwhelmingly large number of votes from everybody. And so, Square Enix were very kind and they decided to give me a second spoiler to give to you guys. So honestly, the reason I have two is because of you lot, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been so supportive of the channel and still wants to watch me after all of this time. It's been a good 2 years now since I started doing Final Fantasy TCG coverage, and it's lovely to see that it gets recognised. I've actually just come back from Dusseldorf for the Crystal Cup, which some of you may or may not have seen me play in, and it actually went amazingly. It was an incredible weekend, but I'm going to save that stuff for another video where I actually sort of go over the deck that I played, the draft deck that I played, tips for drafting, all that kind of stuff in a separate video. But for now, we're going to talk about this card of the week, and it's going to be Alphinaud. And Alphinaud is a card that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been waiting for because Alisaie was spoiled by FFTCG.org not too long ago, and it referred to Alphinaud being a forward. Now the forward that we had for Alphinaud originally, or the card we had for Alphinaud originally, sorry, is a backup. So there must have been a forward to go with this Alisaie, and this is that forward. So he is a 2 CP lightning forward with 5,000 power, with the job sign of the 7th Dawn of course, who reads, when Alphinaud attacks, dull all forwards your opponent controls with power less than his. Not only that, but he actually dulls forwards with power equal to his as well, which is actually quite a big deal, because it means that the only things that are going to be able to block Alphinaud are going to be cards that activate themselves, or if your opponent has a way of activating them, or forwards that are bigger than he is. Now when I first read this card, when I got it a little while ago, I was looking at it and I'm like going, yeah, it seems alright, it doesn't seem too bad. I'm not sure if it goes into the Scion deck, because that's the first thing you're going to think of when you see a Scion, is does it go well in Scions? And I was looking at it, I'm like, not really. You kind of want to get the backup searching for Scions through Lukewarm, and then Alisaie is really important. And then they revealed the Alisaie not too long ago, and looking at that, I kind of sort of thought, alright, this could be a bit better, but a Scion needs to be really, really powerful in order to trump the Alisaie that we already have that gives all Scions haste. But then I sat there and thought, I don't think that this Alphinaud is actually made for Scions. I don't think that either Alisaie or Alphinaud is made for Scions. I think that this is actually an extremely powerful combination of cards, and I've thought of already two ways to play these, and I thought, well, Mono Lightning already runs Lukewarm and Alphinaud, but the Alphinaud that you get as a backup doesn't really do much in terms of progressing the game state for Mono Lightning. But then now you can search for Alisaie, who is a 2 CP backup, so you still have that backup searching of backup goodness that you got originally, but now you have a worthwhile target to search for with Lukewarm that's a forward. And not only that, but if you already have Alisaie out, giving Alphinaud haste makes him a much, much bigger threat. So honestly, we already have these plays of Cid Previa, Lukewarm, and backup Alphinaud, but that's now really easy to change in Mono Lightning to Cid Previa, Lukewarm, backup Alisaie, and now forward Alphinaud. So having that so that you have to only pick off certain forwards before you can attack with Alphinaud is actually really powerful. And if you have Lulu out or ways of buffing his power, then obviously the more power he gets, the more you get out of him. Now I did say that I don't think that Alphinaud goes in a Scion deck, and I'm actually starting to think that I was wrong. I just don't think he goes into the existing Scion deck. Having looked at him, there is another 2 CP forward for Lightning that is a Scion of the 7th Dawn, which is Urianger. Now we all know that Urianger is really, really strong, but there was another card that was spoiled for Opus VIII that really got me thinking about how this Alphinaud works, and that's Lava Spider. So if you have Urianger and you have Alphinaud, who are both 2 CP forwards, Fire has access to Phoenix as well, the 4 CP Phoenix that can resurrect any 2 CP or less forward from your break zone and deal 2,000 damage to all your opponent's forwards. So then you've now got to realise that Lise is also a Fire Scion who buffs all of your forwards' power. So this could be interesting. So I was getting to thinking about, well, okay, so how does this then work? If you're running Lukewarm, backup Alisaie, Alphinaud, Urianger, Lise, Lava Spider, and you even, now that we've seen Multi-Gemini, who could be a real thorn in Alphinaud's side because it's a monster that said that forwards can't have their power increased, you have access to Dragon, which is removal for monsters. Lightning already has Ramu, which is removal for monsters. And I'm sitting there thinking, hold on a minute. I think that we already know that the Final Fantasy XIV deck that we have coming out is a Lightning Fire deck. We just assumed that it wasn't a Scion deck. So now that we've looked at Alphinaud, Alisaie, and Lise, I think that there is a massively large potential for a Lightning Fire Scion deck to come into play. Because the idea being that you can pull up Urianger to pull out Lava Spider, and I think that Urianger is the only realistic way to play Lava Spider effectively. A lot of people were very excited about that card, but I think it's great as an Urianger target, but not in and of itself. You could then play Dragon if you wanted to as a method of being able to remove things like Death Guys or Multi-Gemini if you come across those. And then you have Alphinaud, who, if you have a Lava Spider and an Alisaie out, he's attacking for 9k, which means he's dulling everything that your opponent has that is 9k or less. Lightning Fire is already a really fast deck. Like, you know, I've played decks that use the Agito Cadets that I got the idea from Barnes Final Fantasy Corner, so do check him out if you haven't already. And it's really fast, and you have access to some really powerful summons like Ramu, and you just have like the Warrior of Light engine. There's so much potential through this engine and others as well for Lightning Fire cheek forward dot deck in the form of Scions to be a real threat, and I actually think it could be legitimately very competitive. The other thing that's nice about these cards that I've mentioned just now is that all of them are commons or come from a starter deck. Alphinaud is common, Alisaie is common, Joesephyr is common from Opus VIII, then you've got Lava Spider, which is common. The only thing that's actually going to be difficult to get from anything at all is going to be Phoenix. So, honestly, I would suggest going out and getting Phoenixes now while you still can, because I honestly think that that card is going to be a very, very prevalent thing in the upcoming meta. Not necessarily just for Alphinaud, but we've had other spoilers come out of the fray, like Zidane, that I think will be really, really relevant to Phoenix. So honestly, go out and grab Opus III Phoenix while you still can. So that's going to be it for this week's card of the week. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this card. I think it's an amazing card, and I really hope that everyone sees the potential that lies in Alphinaud in the same way that I do. And Lightning Fire in general, I want to see some really spicy deck text coming out in these comments below. So let me know what you guys think of Alphinaud, Alisaie, and everything else that's coming out of Opus VIII. And then do stay tuned to all these videos, because I'll be giving a full report on my tournament experience at Dusseldorf this past weekend, and letting you know what I played, how I played it, what I came up against, what the matchups were like, what draft is like. By the way, I love draft. I have to just say this now. I'd never drafted really before this weekend, and I absolutely loved it, and I like to think I'm actually quite good at it. So do stay tuned for that, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out all of the social links in the description box below, including my Discord channel, which has got over 200 people in it now, and it's very active, and we all chat about all sorts of different things, so I really encourage you to click on that link in the description box below as well. But it's only going to be this weekend now before pre-release for Opus VIII, and we learn everything about the set, so do stay tuned, because there's going to be tons of FFTCG and Opera Omnia videos coming from me in the coming future, and I hope you guys all stick around to enjoy it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!